Welcome to my Emo Band tier list. All of the bands on this list I used to listen to when I was 12. I made the pictures here just the album I felt was the most popular for each band, that way it's easier for everyone to recognize what they are before I start talking about them. If you don't know the bands by these album covers, you're not a real emo, but it's okay, you can learn. Now we have to get into this list right away. Starting off with My Chemical Romance, this band is S tier. There's still a ton of middle schoolers now in 2024 that aren't okay these days, and that says a lot. If you're an emo kid, you listen to MCR, it's just what you do. They don't even really have a choice. My Chemical Romance is to emos like what femboys are to libertarians. I mean, I don't know, it's just what they like, okay? Hey, I don't make the rules, okay? Alright, now up next is going to have to be Blood on the Dance Floor. This band is F tier. Their music is actually unbearable trash. Davi Vanity, Davy Vanity, however you say his drag queen-esque name aside, this band has to not only be the worst emo band ever, but it might be the worst band of all time. Yeah, like, you can enjoy horny music or whatever, but this shit is literally targeting little kids because who else is listening to this trash? Like, when I heard this band for the first time, I was 12. This annoying-ass emo girl in my art class basically introduced me to them. Like, she wouldn't shut the fuck up about this band, I don't know why, they're horrible. But yeah, there was a good moment in this class though where this kid went up to her and basically said Eminem sucked. She went off about how he didn't know Eminem, and he went through so much struggle to get where he is, like, you know, stuff like that. It was hilarious. Anyway, really only children listen to Blood on the Dance Floor, and it makes me wonder if Davey was targeting them on purpose with his music, because it literally sounds like if the songs from Lego Movie were made super sexual. Like, if Everything Was Awesome was written by Cupcake, except a million times more creepy. Like, but yeah, about their music, most of their songs are just unlistenable garbage. If you like them, you should legitimately seek out therapy. Like, I seriously don't trust you if you listen to this band, honestly. Okay, now Black Veil Brides. Years ago, this band would be in C tier, but now they're basically E-boy Motley Crue. Going from Knives and Pens to dad rock is kinda wild. Like, I really don't know why people still listen to this band. I guess it probably has something to do with Andy Biersack being like really hot, but anyway, this band is D tier. I really don't have much else to say about them. Next is 5 Seconds of Summer. I really don't think this band is emo, it's really just garbage pop music, but for some reason, a lot of emos love this band. I really think they're F tier, probably the most forgettable music I've ever heard in my life, aside from how much I hate them, of course. This band is like if AJR was mixed with Maroon 5, like, it's basically the worst thing ever. They're also on 13 Reasons Why soundtrack, which makes them even worse. Again, this band is F tier. Moving on, this is just terrible. 3 Days Grace. This band is S tier. There's no debate to be had. I really don't even need to say anything else. This band might not actually be emo, but it's a part of emo culture, like 5 Seconds of Summer unfortunately is. This band pretty much fell off after Adam left, but they're not horrible, just not nearly as good. The new lead singer is alright, but yeah, Adam's always going to be better. Anyway, 3 Days Grace, S tier, super easy S tier. New lead singer can't change the fact that 3 Days Grace is one of the most important emo bands of all time, and you know I'm right. Okay, next up is going to have to be Panic at the Disco. This band just isn't good anymore. Some of their older music is alright, but I just can't stand them at this point. If I had to say when this band started to become terrible, it was around 2016. Their last 2 albums are just absolutely horrible, unlistenable garbage. Dude, they're terrible. The C tier, honestly, only because I used to like them a lot. Pierce the Veil. This band is A tier. They would be an S tier, but they released a pretty bad album in 2016. I mean, it wasn't really that bad, I just thought it was pretty boring. And then they stopped releasing music for 7 years, so I just stopped being interested in them at that point. You know what? This band is S tier. King for a Day alone makes this band S tier. If you listened to that song when it came out and you saw the music video, you just knew. That was one of the greatest times to be an emo ever. The next band is going to have to be Hawthorne Heights. I really hate this band. Yeah, emo music is whiny sometimes, but this band takes it to a whole new level. Both the lyrics and the lead singer are just so whiny that it's impossible to enjoy their music at all. Like, do you know how whiny you have to sound for it to be too much? As an emo band? Even their disgusting math rock guitar riffs sound whiny somehow. Like, I don't understand how that's possible. This band is F tier. Holy shit, man. Silverstein, is C tier. I almost put them in B tier, but they just reminded me of Blink-182 for some reason. I was never the biggest fan of them either, so yeah, I just think they belong in C tier. Next up is going to be AFI. This band is alright. Again, I don't listen to them anymore, but I don't listen to most of these bands anymore, so I should just stop saying that at this point. Miss Murder and Beautiful Thieves are emo classics, and it almost brings the band into B tier. Sadly, they go in C tier though, because the lead singer is probably the best part about this band, and I only like a handful of their songs, honestly. Fall Out Boy, D tier. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm lying. I'm not sorry at all. They used to be good, their new songs are just unlistenable. I can't hear any of their new songs without immediately finding something I hate about it. I can't lie, this band had some good songs, but I don't really have an urge to listen to them anymore. I just don't like them. Anyway, their new music sucks, their old music is mediocre, honestly, and they're boring. They're a D tier band. Okay, next up is Cute Is What We Aim For. This band is just terrible. Their music is like what plays during the opening credits of a Netflix original teen coming-of-age story. Their lyrics are so cringe, and honestly, they sound annoying as hell. This band would be F tier. You know what? They're an F tier. I was gonna put them in D tier, but they're F tier. They're just... I can't even listen to them, dude. It literally does psychic damage to me. Framing Hanley? Does anyone know this band? This band is honestly C tier though. Their best song is a cover of Lil Wayne. I really don't even need to say more, but yeah, this band's pretty average. Paramore, I'm sorry to say, but this band is D tier. Basically, their only two songs now are Still Into You and Ain't It Fun. I've never heard a Paramore song that isn't one of those songs since 2014. Their other songs are pretty good before 2013, but ever since then they're just another pop band, and that really ruins the whole band for me, especially with those two songs I mentioned before that just piss me off so much because they're overplayed to oblivion and they're not even that good. Get Scared, they're S tier. This is one of the few bands I can say has only really gotten better over time. Sure, they had a little scandal that I don't really care to talk about right now, and it kind of ruined one of their albums for me. But again, I really like where they started and where they are now. And yeah, Get Scared was and still is one of the best emo bands of all time. They might even be number one right now, honestly. Okay, now we have to talk about Evanescence. This is another band I was never a huge fan of, and I was just gonna give them C tier, but whenever I hear of the song My Immortal, it reminds me of this wild Harry Potter fanfiction that just lives rent-free in my head. So that's gonna bump them up to B tier, and you really do just have to give respect to this band because they're really awesome and very influential, of course. Okay, now Sleeping with Sirens, A tier. Not as good as Pierce the Veil, but they're a super iconic emo band with a great vocalist, and they've made some of the greatest emo bangers of all time. The only bad thing I can say about them is that they did a song with Machine Gun Kelly. Like, what? But yeah, we don't talk about that. Sleeping with Sirens is amazing. Okay, now Bring Me the Horizon. I really feel like putting them in C tier now, but I just have to give them B tier out of respect. Sempiternal has to be one of the greatest emo albums of all time. This is just another band that would be higher up on the list, but they just aren't as good anymore. They're more pop rock now than emo, honestly. They've definitely gotten softer over time, and that's part of the reason why I don't like them as much anymore. Like, their first album was grindcore, which is absolutely insane. And finally, last but not least, because Blood on the Dance Floor exists, we made it to Papa Roach. I was never really too into them. They do go hard, I have to admit, but I'm not sure if I can give them above a C tier just because I imagine their audience is just 50-year-old dads. I don't know, they just give me that vibe. They're not really that bad though, I just don't really care for them. Okay. This tier list is complete. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. I'm honestly surprised you got this far, but since you're here, you may as well like the video, or dislike it if you dislike my insane rambling. Also, comment if you listen to Blood on the Dance Floor so you can be bullied. Again, thank you for watching and have a great day. Or night.